Alright, hello everybody. My name is Austin Trombley, and for those of you who don't know who I am a cinematographer who lives in the heart of Hollywood, right here in Los Angeles, and I work in the film industry. I feel like I have to say that at the beginning of every video. Like, I don't know, I think that's becoming like a trademark. Today, I want to break down a handful of images of my work, of movies that I've shot, and I kind of just want to walk through the process of my thought process of creating the shot, lighting, and the overall grade, like the color grading of it to get that look that we were looking for. And this is the first kind of video I've ever made of this style of doing this kind of thing. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it's not like too, weird. I'm just kind of going on and on and on. So this first shot, as we can see, not even with people yet. This is the beginning of a movie I did called Twisted Revenge about a year ago. Now, I shot this on the Alexa Mini. I think all these are on the Alexa Mini. There was not a lot of pre-production that went into these kind of shots because it all depended on what production design looked like on the day of the shoot. So me and the director kind of knew this going into it. We weren't going to plan so much for just like inserts like this. There wasn't much talk in pre-production of like, oh, we need this exact angle of this certain thing. You know what I mean? It was like, we'll get these quickly on the day of, when production design sets it up and we know what it looks like, and I can see the lighting live and whatnot. So this is usually the only time this ever actually works. When you're shooting an actual scene with people and movement and blocking, then it's like a completely different story. But for this, we got away with just being able to show up on the day and kind of shoot. And as you can tell, it's pretty dark. I wanted it to be dark. I wanted it to feel lonely. I wanted to feel like nobody was kind of home and everything was dark and kind of almost abandoned feeling. So that's why it's, our foreground and lights from inside are, off. There, it's dark inside. Now we did have some beautiful sun pushing through the window here. Now that is fake, obviously. Sorry to break it to everybody, but it's a fake in a sense. Anyways, I just changed the direction of the sun, and how I did that is I used mirror boards. So I put a mirror board. I got my gaffer to put a mirror board up on a combo stand, and we found the right angle to get the sun coming in through the window, and then all I had to really do was put a little bit of haze inside, and you get those nice beams of sunlight coming in. And I think it really sets the mood with how kind of dark this movie is going to be based on this image, because this is one of the opening images of the movie. So this is from that same movie. We actually have a person here this time. I mean, you can tell that we're shooting pretty shallow depth of field. And basically all I did here was we just have natural light pushing into his face. Now, behind me and behind the camera, I have a 6x6 solid. And then I'm also wrapping it up until about the left side of the image, up until about right here, right off screen. Like if you were to go right here, if I was to pan the camera a little bit left, you would see a solid here, or a floppy, what we call it. And that's just taking down the light, so there's no bounce back light, and we're just killing all of the reflective light that could be hitting him. You can see there's a really dark shadow here in his neck, here in his beard, and then the roll off starts to go up as we get to the highlights onto his face. And that's kind of the goal with that, was just to wrap a little bit of negative fill, we call it, or solids or floppies, and take down a bit of that reflective light bouncing back. So you can kind of draw your eye right to his face and not have anything in the back here kind of, distracting us. So this is one of my favorite shots. This is actually the poster of the movie. Again, it's called Twisted Revenge by Emily Roberts. But yeah, this is the poster, and it was a fluke that we got this. Not a fluke that we got this during recording, but it's actually the perfect poster. It looks great. My gaffer put up, we had on this roof, you can kind of see it here, but it's a little bit out of focus, obviously. But there were perfect rigging points to put, like Mayfair clamps and Cardellini's and stuff up, and even C-clamps or whatever. So we put a couple of those up, and we're able to hang some and put some light mats up to give us our key light here, which is supposed to be looking like the window pushing in light. You see that when we switch to a wide shot, like you can see the window in the back, and there's a nice beam of light coming through the window. And then, we're cheating that daylight coming through the window to be the light that's hitting his face here, and we're doing that by using light mats and panels that my gaffer rigged up and my key grip rigged up top here on the beams. I had no negative. I think actually for some of these, I don't think for this one, but for some of them we actually had a little bit of pushback. We had a little bit of bounce card just off the left side of frame here, just to give them a little bit, because it was very, very dark in there, and I wanted it to be very dark. But I mean, obviously you have to keep an eye on your IRE and your exposure to make sure everything's, you know, in detail there. So that's this image. Again, this is probably my favorite image of the movie. And it's the poster. So very awesome. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so this is actually on a different shoot. This is a really short film I did. Again, we shot on my Mini. It was very short. Took place in this one apartment on a single day. Like, it took us like not very long to do it. It probably took us 6 hours of shooting. Now to the left, this is an apartment, so to the left is a balcony window, and there was not that much light coming in through it, so I actually made my own setup here where I pushed some soft light to act as a key and to motivate that daylight coming in through the window. And then also you can see it here in the reflections of his eyes, the little twinkle of his eyes. I got a light mat basically, and I had it barely on, and I wrapped it in muzz, I think it was unbleached muzz. And all that does is give us a nice twinkle in the eye and a nice, very nice eye light here. So you can, obviously reflects off the white surface there, but also gives us a nice little twinkle there. And so both those things combined are natural and make our image look natural. But it's kind of ways to enhance it. And then on this side, again, it was all white walls. So to kind of bring us a little bit more contrasty, and to give us a little bit more shadow, I just put up a floppy. Again, if I was to pan the camera any more right, you would have seen basically a floppy, a big solid negative fill there, taking down some of the shadow. Now, originally, the director wanted the camera on the far side, near where this chair is, looking towards where them two from the back there, but I kind of talked him into, this is more of an interesting shot because we get to see the window here, we get to see our motivation of light, but obviously that's not like the only thing. I think it helps us dirty up the frame a little bit, and it opens up the back, because right here it just came to a close of a corner, and I think it would have looked really ugly on screen, and again, because the walls are all white. So I said, if we can mix this up a little bit, if we can like put the camera over here, dirty up the frame with the sink faucet here, the messy kitchen, that plays along with the story in the foreground, but we only are focusing on them in the back, and it gives us that depth. So it becomes a much more interesting shot. If we shot the other way, like I said, it would have just been a closed corner, white walls, nothing in the back, no depth to separate us, and it would have been a lot less interesting. So I'm really glad I was able to convince the director to move the camera over here, and we shot this, and it looks great. All right, so this is a project I recently shot. Actually, I shot this about 2 months ago. So we were this was a bit of a weird shoot. We were shooting in a motel, and it was a really small room, so it was kind of hard for every shot, it was hard to mix everything up, because we only had so much space to make it interesting. But nonetheless, this is one of the reaction shots of one of the characters here. We have a bit of moonlight coming into the window here. A little bit of, it's not even really supposed to be moonlight, but more or less, lights coming from outside at night. Whether we're motivating a street lamp or like a sign, a neon sign, or like or the moon. I mean, it could work either way. But I wanted to motivate something to kind of give us a push from the window there. Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite frames of the film, and what I did here was, outside the window, I used a 6x6 or an 8x8 magic cloth, which is a really heavy diffusion material that really, really diffuses light, and I pushed a Vortex panel through it, Vortex 8 cream source panel through it with this kind of moonlighty color. It's not too crazy, it's not too gnarly. I brought down a little bit, kind of just dialed it in again with my IRE and my exposure settings, and that's the kind of the product we got there, with that kind of kick from the back and fill on her face here. Took a lot of time to also tweak her. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but when you're as a cinematographer, I talk a lot with actors just to move them slightly and just tweak their heads a little bit, or tweak their body positioning a little bit, so it's perfect with the light. And that's what I had to do in this case. So I was able to tweak it to get it like this, so because I wanted the light to kind of come down the side of the forehead here, and kind of come down the face here, and leaving us with a shadow right here and on this eye, and then down here. So we're getting that nice fill and nice edge light, like right there. And then, you know, with the key light here, and this is just a lamp light that I use as a key, and it was perfect. I moved the lamp really close, again, like just outside of frame here is the lamp. I put a bounce board behind it, so it just shovel a little bit of stuff back from any excess spill that was coming off the lamp, and it pushed it towards her face. And this is kind of the key that we got here, and it's very nice. Got some very nice fall off, especially you can see it on the forehead. It just kind of rolls right off, which is nice. And obviously, you know, you kind of get it on the nose here, and it comes over a bit of the nose there. I really enjoyed this shot and lighting the shot, and really taking my time with it because I had a bit of time, so I was really able to kind of tweak it in there. But all right, I think that's all the images. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for some people. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything I can do better for next time I do a video like this, please leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, anything helps, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribe and whatever. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, take it easy. Peace.